Due to the custom nature of the guitar that I'm building, as far as the width of the bridge and width of the nut, off-the-shelf components really are not going to work for my guitar build. Your standard electric guitar that you find in any music shop is typically a 41 or 43 millimeter nut width. Sometimes you can find them 44, 45. Bridge widths are typically between 50 to 57 millimeters. My guitar, those measurements are much wider. Since I'm building everything else on the guitar, I decided to try to build pickups. And what I've done is I've actually measured the spacing of the strings, so I know how wide pole piece I'm going to need. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the magnet as the pole piece. In this instance, for the neck pickup, I'm using an Alnico 3 magnet. The flatware that I have, pieces of the neck and of the fingerboard. So these have been cut also at an angle for the multi-scale nature of the neck, but also wide enough to accommodate the width of the string spacing. And again, this is for the neck pickup. Alnico 3 magnet, and for wire in the neck pickup, I'm going to be using some 42 gauge. The guitar is going to have 2 pickups, a neck and a bridge. I thought about doing 3, but spacing just didn't seem to lend itself very well to 3 pickups. So for the bridge pickup, again I have my string spacing at the bridge, and for the bridge I'm using an Alnico 4 bar magnet as the actual pole piece. Again, the flatware are pieces of the actual maple neck and of the fingerboard. For the bridge pickup, I will be using a 44 gauge wire. Going back to the components for the neck pickup, again, an Alnico 3 bar magnet, and I have some maple wood, which this guitar has a maple neck. Now, in order to affix the magnet to the wood, luckily I happen to have a chisel, which is 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters, which happens to be the exact width of the bar magnet. Channel will be chiseled out on the thicker lower piece, that this will sit into the upper piece. I have a channel chiseled all the way through it so that this will sit flush with the top of that wood. The cover plate will go over top of that. And in keeping with the spirit of this particular build, I have yet to use any electrically powered tools for any of the woodwork. And that's going to continue with the pickups, up to the point where I need to use a soldering iron. So I thinned these down fairly well. The what is the top portion of the flat work is right about 2 millimeters thick. and the bottom plate is about 3.5 millimeters thick. The top portion, I want this slot to be kind of tight because the bar magnet's going to penetrate all the way through this wood, so I don't want it too wobbly. The bottom plate can have a little slop in it, because I'm not planning on cutting that one all the way through. That one's going to have a channel in it, and then the bar magnet will be epoxied into that. Now that I've scored the channels with a knife, you also want to get in here, because I'm chiseling across the grain. You want to make sure that you have severed those fibers on each layer that you're going to chisel. Otherwise you will experience tear out. On a very thin piece of wood, tear out is not a lot of fun. It definitely pays to have sharpened your chisels before you start on this. That's the result we're looking for. Now it's just a matter of channeling out the base so that that fits in there. One step with the flatware that I do not want to omit is to round these corners off. So this represents a couple millimeters taken off of the width of the flatware. Again, the pocket that I have is 22 millimeters. And this measures right around 20 millimeters now. Even double check with a caliper. And even took it up and test fitted it into the pocket that I have carved out, and it fits. So result. Finished all the prep work on the wood for the pickup bobbins. Took some 2-part epoxy, mixed up a good amount of it, and then I applied it to what are now the pickup bobbins. This is still a little tacky, so I'm not going to wind them up right now. I want to let this set fully before I get around to adding any wire to it. But that is the bridge pickup, and this is the bobbin for the neck pickup.